A big stack of tires has caught fire outside of Fort Lupton in Weld County, sending a towering plume of heavy black smoke into the air. These are pictures from viewers of that fire. 9 News reporter Jordan Chavez is there, and Jordan, people are reporting seeing this fire as far away as Denver. So what are you being told about the air quality?
Yeah, you can imagine when you see something this big from that far away, that's a pretty big concern there, Kim. So we are told that 12 different agencies are on scene right now, and the EPA is actually en route, and they have been having multiple conversations with the Office of Emergency Management about air quality, and they are having conversations with the county's public health department, who is in contact with the state's public health department. At this point, though, Platteville-Gilchrist Fire says they recommend for anyone who can smell the smoke to remain indoors, close their windows, wear a mask if they feel they need to, and if it's bothering your lungs, then to voluntarily move to another area for the time being. That is what they are saying as far as air quality at this point. They say that this will last a while because tire fires are not known to end quickly. So currently there are about 7 mounds of tires on fire, which equates to about 2 acres of land. At this time, the only structure that is being threatened is a warehouse by the fire official that we spoke with didn't know exactly what was inside. Now, there are no mandatory evacuations for people who live around here at this time, but we are told that one home did temporarily evacuate. This is a tire recycling facility, which actually saw a big fire here back in 1987 that made national headlines. It was the Tire Mountain Fire. You may remember that. Crews say they're actually seeing how that fire was extinguished, and they're going to use those tactics to hopefully do the same thing here with this fire. But again, tonight, guys, not likely that this will end anytime soon. Tire fires not known to end quickly.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, Jordan.